So hello everybody, my name is Chris Tucci, and as you may have guessed, this is my final project. It's a calculator that is powered in Java, and I'm running it on Eclipse. So to start the program should be simple enough. You just navigate to the calculator GUI class and you run it. I'm just going to maximize the window here. So first things to point out is that each button on this calculator has a tooltip after some delay. There is also a help button located in the top left corner, which gives some instructions on how to use each of the buttons. But to start, we have your classic Arabic numerals. We know them, we love them, base 10, it's great. And you can enter them as integers, as decimals, or as like negative numbers. And of course, we have a clear button that clears the input stream. And of course, we have mathematical operators that I'll just quickly run through. We have addition, we have subtraction, got multiplication, division, floor division, modular division. We have powers, and we have a reciprocal button, which is a little strange, but it's essentially the same as the power button, but with a negative sign. So if I do 2 to the power of negative 1, it should be the same thing. We also have roots, so you can do square roots, or you could do cubed roots, or you can do any kind of root that your heart desires. We have factorials, we have permutations, which this is factorial but with addition. And maybe my favorite, we also have prime factorization, to just discover the prime factors of whatever number, whatever whole number you put in here. And down here we have some constants. We have pi, you can multiply that by 2 to get tau. We have phi, or the golden ratio. You have Euler's constant. And down here we also have the overflow value, or the highest positive value that Java can handle safely. And if we multiply that by 2, I've added some custom exceptions to my code that will display up here. We have the underflow value, which is the lowest value, and we have infinity, which there is a number of ways you can break the normal calculator of infinity. I programmed a few error catching with infinity. And there's other precautions, like dividing by 0 has checks against it. And same for all the other stuff that divides by 0. With all that, we can move on to the second part, which is the list operator. If we click that, it opens up a window. And this calculator is all about list operations. So just like the other one, it has tooltips, it has a help button, it has your numerals, it has decimals, it has negative numbers. But first, we can make a list. So to add an element to your list, you can use the append button. I'll just create a little list here. To see your current list, you can hit the display button. If you want to remove an element from the list, in pop, it will remove the last one. And if you want to remove everything from the list, there's a remove all button. But we'll make the list again here. But down here we have a shuffle button, which will randomly rearrange the elements. We have a sort button, which will rearrange them in numerical value again. We have mean, or average. We have median. We have mode. And since all 3 of these elements appear an equal amount of times, they're each considered the mode. We have standard deviation. Sum, which just adds all of the elements together. Difference subtracts. product, quotient, and we have delta, which tries to find the common interval of the entire list. And this can change depending on the order. So there's no delta here, etc. We have minimum, which looks for the minimum value, maximum value, range, and of course length, which will count how many elements we have in the list. I also created a skeleton for a string operator. This didn't really make the final cut for the project, but it's still technically there. And that's the calculator in a nutshell. Otherwise, I can briefly go over the file structure. So all of the GUI classes, all of the classes in charge of creating like buttons and windows and action listeners go in the view package. Inside there are also all the help files. Inside the model package, we have all of the classes that contain the basic methods that are called. And we also have a list of constants stored in here. And lastly, our unit tests are stored in a testing package. And if we run all this, it should all pass. Essentially, each method has a positive test. Most have a negative test, which are testing my various exceptions. And we can look at the other one here for the list operator. Run that as well. Everything should test. This one is mostly just positive tests, but same methodology. And all in all, that's the calculator project in a nutshell. Thank you for listening. My project is available for view on GitHub. And thank you for listening to my TED Talk.